Good evening, televiewers. Welcome to this other edition of Prime Hour on My Media Prime. With this edition, we are going to be looking at the performance of the Indomitable Lions. Yesterday, they lost to the Namibian national team at the level of the qualifiers for the Nations Cup built for Ivory Coast next year. But also, the under-23 Lions were eliminated yesterday by Gabon. So many persons are asking the question as to what is wrong with Cameroon's football. We also are going to be looking at the re-election at the level of the National Assembly and Senate of the presidents, the Right Honorable Cavaye Jibril and Nyadji Maxel. We are looking at how apt they are for the job. Is it their efficiency or the fact that the party needs them very badly to deliver? We are discussing this with our panelists who are in the house already. Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa, our permanent consultant, is in the house with us. Good evening, welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening, Mr. Ndiwum. Good evening, Cameroonians. And today we are going to be talking about football. Cameroonians are lovers of football, but of late we've been very disappointed with the performance of our Lions. And God will help us to give critical analysis to help Cameroonians understand the stakes of the national team.
We also in the company of Ndiwum Emmanuel, who is an active member of Cameroon Civil Society. Ndiwum, good evening and welcome.
Good evening, Mr. Leo. Good evening to Apostle Ambe Valentine. It's been a while we have not shared this platform. And I'm happy that tonight we are going to be discussing issues concerning the Cameroonian football. You know, in countries where the government understands that there's a particular point, a particular game that they can use for distraction, they apply the principles of football, and that's exactly what I'll be dwelling my discussion on tonight.
We also are expecting the contribution of Mr. Shuneh Siaka, who is certainly caught in traffic. We hope he joins us to be part of today's edition of the program. Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa. Cameroonians actually yesterday said that yesterday was a Black Tuesday for the nation after a disappointing outing against Namibia. The Lions were humbled in Yaoundé by the Gabonese on the 23 national team, to say that things are not moving well for Cameroon's football.
Yes, Mr. Leo. Since Samuel Eto'o came to the helm of the Fika Food, we've been seeing what he's been doing. He's been trying to promote home-based talent, skills back at home, which is something we've been agitating for and praying for. And we really appreciate his efforts so far as Fika Food in Cameroon is concerned, because he has taken the Fika Food to another level, another height. He's also giving the opportunities for Cameroonians also to prove themselves. And I wouldn't blame him, because we have always encouraged the consumption of home-based products, home-based skills, home-based talent, home-based abilities. But of late, I was the person that initially came on this platform and encouraged the fact that a man like Robertson being appointed as the head coach of the national team is a plus to the Cameroonian society, and also a challenge to us to wake up and do what the whites always come here to do. Taking example and drawing inspiration from Aliou Cissé in Senegal, who took his team, the Moroccan coach Walid, also who has been doing a very great job. We said, why not the Cameroonian? I came on this platform and defended the position of Song. And I said it's important for us to give a Cameroonian a chance. And to be sincere, we've given a Cameroonian a chance, which is Rigobert Song. And I must confess on this platform today that we are very disappointed with Song's performance. And we are not comfortable. If you go to the streets and you ask 10 Cameroonians about Song's performance, it will be very clear that Cameroonians are disgruntled and frustrated with his performance so far. I think some people will say they need enough time for Song to show his skill and his ability.
To build a team like Aliou Cissé has done 10 years.
Yes, but we have given Song sufficient time to even prove his worth. Song has not proven in any way that he's competent enough to manage that team. And I think his inexperience, number one. Number two, he doesn't have the wherewithal and the skill enough to manage that team. And then thirdly, I think think Song should work as an assistant under somebody. I think apprenticeship is needed in the domain of coaching. Now, you could be a good player but not a good coach. Song doesn't have that tactical skill and ability to build a team. I think he has to sit under a coach as an assistant coach for some time, because I think the apprenticeship mentality is what we do not have in Cameroon, which is much cultivated in Nigeria. People don't begin business in Nigeria as businessmen. They begin as apprentices under successful businessmen. And I think Song would have been good as an assistant coach under some experienced coach to gather skill and ability before being given the opportunity to manage a national team. As of now, Song is on a very zero-scale balance.
Okay, Ndiwum, is the problem with Rigobert Song or the players themselves?
I want to start by disagreeing with Apostle Ambe when he said Song was appointed and he actually applauded for Song's appointment. You know, I'm one of the people who was never for Song, but today I stand with Song tonight 100%. I will tell you why I was never for Song, and I was bashed even openly, Facebook, WhatsApp for us. Elsewhere, Mr. Liu, in modern football, coaches are no longer appointed. Coaches are selected. Because in modern football, there are schools that train trainers or coaches. From the very beginning, I based my arguments on the credentials that could qualify Song to be the coach of the Indomitable Lions. And at that time, many people did not see it. People based their arguments on the fact that they needed a home-based coach, of which to me was a good thing to do. But then, my problem, when some people even took my pictures that I've never kicked the ball, I am criticizing Song. I have never criticized Song as a player because he's one of the players who gave us glories in Cameroon in his day as a player on the pitch. That his glory stands. But I'm afraid when you are in a country where from top to bottom people believe in appointments, you always appoint the wrong persons. Song was not supposed to be appointed. Let me give you examples. You have people in Cameroon who have been trained as coaches in Europe. I think Ashebe Webo is one, just one of them. What actually stopped Samuel Eto'o to call these people to put in their credentials for the normal criteria that are being followed elsewhere to be followed in Cameroon before Song was selected? Why was Song appointed? Now, Song has been appointed. Since yesterday, everywhere on the social media handles, Song is being lambasted. He's been bashed. But I stand with Song. That Song has my support 100%. Because for those who think that Song should be sacked or should be driven, I disagree. Because he came through appointment like any other person in Cameroon who has failed to deliver has always come through appointment. Mr. Bia has not been delivering for 41 years. And the shocking thing is that those who are bashing Song are the youth. This very much energy they have been using since yesterday till now, calling for Song's resignation. Why have you not been using this very energy to call for the resignation of President Bia? Why have you not been using this very energy to call for the resignation of the President of Senate, National Assembly, Constitutional Council? Now you come out to blame Song, knowing fully well that Song was appointed. He was not selected from a list of credentials. So the problem here should be squarely put on the person who appointed Song, because Song never applied and Song never auto-appointed himself, Mr. Liu. So the problem here is Samuel Eto'o. Somewhere, somehow, I have appreciated Eto'o on some platforms. But then, we also discovered that there is a difference between showmanship and leadership. There is a problem with the Cameroon football today, because if what is done elsewhere, look at the case of the young man in Morocco. He has not been there for 2 years. He went to World Cup, arrived semi-finals. 4 days ago, he trashed Brazil with all the first 11 players on the pitch. 2 days later, he trashed Canada. Which time again do you people want to give Song? If you give Song 20 years, he will not deliver. But I prefer that he should remain there. Wow. He should remain there because from the beginning.
As a sign of punishment.
Yes, even if it's a sign of punishment, I prefer that he should be there. Because those who have not been delivering in this very county who came through appointment, the same population has not risen up to ask for their resignation. So I think I stand with Song 100% tonight. Because it is the problem of football in Cameroon, like the politics, socials, economics, is systemic, Mr. Leo. It is not an individualistic problem.
Okay, are we also suffering from many unresolved problems since the election of Fecafoot president? Samuel Eto'o, we have seen the creation of many camps and some players even siding with some of the camps with so many polemics. The energy that is supposed to be harnessed around this team seems to be lacking. Mr.
Leo, the Fecafoot or the government or the society of Cameroon has always had camps.
Okay.
Etofis did not create camps. Camps have been in the past, from the days of Akombia Aroko, Seydou Monjoya, and the rest of the other presidents, Iyam Mohammed. They have had camps. There is no society of such without camps. You know very well that the players, former footballers in Cameroon, threw their weight behind Etofis because they felt like they are the ones who have been laboring in the Fecafoot, in the football in Cameroon. Yet when it comes to appointment and managing the national team, they appoint administrators who have not labored when it comes to the domain of sports. So I think Etofis being elected as the president of Fecafoot, first and foremost, gave the footballers their place in this nation, which I think they deserve it because they're the ones that brought the glory. Administrators did not bring the glory for football. It wasn't an administrator that won the Nations Cup for Cameroon. It wasn't an administrator that won the Sydney for Cameroon, or it wasn't an administrator that took the Cameroon to the Confederation Cup finals where Fouet died during that period. It was the footballers who have played and labored. And on another hand, you discover that most of the players who have played in this country, they are abandoned, they are rejected, they are always sidelined. They are sidelined and kept in bushes. Most of them die frustrated. Most of them die hungry. But you see, bringing a footballer, Etofis now gave the opportunity for other footballers to occupy respective offices. Thereby because saying that they're almost everywhere around. Everywhere now. Thereby saying that going out of the pitch, football does not end. We still need your skill, your mental capacity. A footballer's career should not end after going out of the pitch. I mean, the skill he has should continue, and that's the platform Etofis created. He also came and gave a lift in the football league in Cameroon by encouraging young men also to see interest in playing football. If we have young stars tomorrow, another aspect is that you realize that home-based players have been used in this era more than any other era in this country. Look at Bawak that was just called the national team. We have Seydou who has gone to South Africa. We have a lot of young men who have been brought into the national team from the Premier League in Cameroon, which was something that was not done. If you don't go to France and Belgium and America and somewhere to play football, they don't recognize you as a player. Etofis has come to reshape the football structure in the country, which we must applaud him for that. As much as he has done well, he has his own shortcomings equally. Now, having camps in the Fecafoot is something that has been there for long. In the days of General Semenge, Etofis came and tried to resolve the matter concerning General Semenge, and you know what he did, he struggled to do, and it wasn't going. I don't think Etofis disrespected any of those elders that he met in Fecafoot. He did everything possible to galvanize everyone and then build the structure. That's why Etofis is loved by Cameroonians. Number two, Mr. Leo, Etofis is the face of the youth in leadership in this country. The very first time a youth has been given a strategic responsibility, Etofis has given us the impression that truly youths have the capacity to manage things, because we have always had elderly people manage issues in this country. And Etofis' opportunity coming as Fecafoot president was a challenge. Okay, you people are complaining that men are leading, we have not given you Fecafoot. What do? Etofis took it and then tried to galvanize it. Now, Song also is the face of the youth when it comes to managing the national team. Song's failure is puncturing the fact that Enon Gachu can become coach tomorrow. It's also puncturing the fact that any other young Cameroonian can become a coach tomorrow, because as a matter of fact, they will say, we tried a youth, that you people complain, and he failed. So he is a course charter, a trailblazer, and a pathfinder. And if at all he makes such a mistake, then every other person behind him will be frustrated. I see Song's position as a risk, not just to the Cameroon national team, but to the generation of youths who are aspiring tomorrow to head the national team. It's delicate. So I think any youth, like tomorrow, if you appoint me a governor in this nation, or a mayor, as a young man, or as a minister, I must do everything possible within my power to make sure that I set a course that they can start thinking that, we had potential youth in the country we could use, because most of the youth who are being given the opportunity now to manage activities are standing not just for themselves, but for the next generation of youth. And I think their error is a generational error, not just a temporal error. So Song is risking the next people who are dreaming of becoming football and coaches in this national team in the country. So I think his performance is very, very poor. I think for now, if we want to put analysis and put things on ground, Song has not won up to 3 matches. I said not up to 3 matches. Yes, just 2 matches. And as a coach, how many matches has he played? Almost 9 matches. He has won only 2. The others defeated, the others draw. Look at a balance sheet of somebody. It's very poor. Song has not delivered even 1/10 of what we were expecting from him. I think that Song's performance was supposed to have been an opportunity for say, okay, we keep saying that elders have taken power. Now that I've given to you, look at what you are doing. Because Etofil was bringing glory to us. Almost every young man in Cameroon was admiring Etofil's leadership. We're saying, look at now, they have given a young man with a young mind. Look at what he's doing. Things are changing. So I think we're happy that tomorrow may have hope, because people are now seeing the essence of bringing youth into leadership. But now, Song being a trailblazer and the first of his age to manage the national team and is acting this way is a very delicate and dangerous attempt to sabotage and puncture the dreams and visions and aspirations of youth who want to run that team tomorrow. That's the truth.
Okay. No, but don't you think that those who lost the elections to Etofis are also working so hard to ensure that it fails, and that may also be manifested in the performances of the Lions? A lot of
those people were not on the pitch yesterday to play, Mr. Leo. It is true that they could be working, but they are not the people who ask Eto to appoint. We are in an appointee system. That's my problem.
But if Eto appointed Song selected these players, did Song ask them not to play also?
Mr. Leo,
football, yeah.
Whether you like it or not, Eto appointed a person he could easily manipulate and work with him inside his back. You will discover that I am not very sure that Song can stand up to Eto for any argument should Eto pose a question to Song, which therefore means that Song handpicked somebody who was easy for him to be manipulated. Because one, when I took the microphone the first time, I told you that in modern football today, teams and their playing styles do no longer depend on chance. When you look at the way Song plays, he depends on chance. It practically shows you that he has no idea of what coaching is all about. Now, what explains the fact that he is there? He is simply there because Eto chose the person that he can easily manipulate or he can usually use. We have people in this country. I cited one to you. Patin Boma is even another person. Why was when they were to take a Clovet in this country and the other person, they took through their credentials. We were told by the Ministry of Sport that those credentials were studied in Yaoundé. The best one was finally selected. Why did Eto not go through this due process to find out whose credentials had weight? Which training school, which coaching school has Song ever attended? When and where? What was his score in that school? That would have constituted a good mark for or for not his appointment as the coach of Cameroon. And I still stand against this system of appointment. That is the problem. My main worry and the idea when I say I stand with Song is that Song's failure is not new failure to Cameroon. We have seen, tell me one institution in Cameroon that is functioning. All the institutions are limping. Song has just joined the crowd of the limping institutions, and my worry is about the youth who went bashing Song. That people, nothing moves in the country. This country, the government of this country discovered that football was the only thing that could be used to distract the youth of this nation. They have capitalized on that. They are using this football to neutralize the reasoning of these youth, and the youth thinks that when you lose a match, you are almost closer to your grave. We went to Gabon 2017, we won. We came back to the country, we paraded the whole country with a trophy. What benefit did that trophy give to a common Cameroonian? What the problems that were existing in Cameroon, what solution did that trophy bring to Cameroon?
What do you mean? You mean
So
that
I mean that
Argentina, you mean that Argentina was recently they recently won the World Cup.
Yes.
They went, they paraded the streets of Argentina.
Yes.
What did they command Argentina again?
Mr. Leo, you cannot.
Are you saying that
you cannot compare?
Yeah, we are also talking about selling
Yes.
the image of the nation.
The nation.
Yes.
To who?
To the world.
To the world. Which world nation came to buy the image? Because till date, our problems in Cameroon has instead multiplied. I am one of the people who think Cameroon should even phase out of this football competition for a while and clean the mess back in the country first. But my point before I shoot out was that it beats my imagination that those people who are killing some are youth. And these same lazy youths who have not been doing anything.
Let me put this back to you. Are you saying that if we were to stop football, everything, and then we fix everything in the nation, we are going to excel in football? Is that what you are saying? Because one of the most stable nations in Africa, we have Botswana. We have other nations that are very stable, but they are not excelling in football.
No, they don't even care so much about football like us. Yeah, their government has taken time to concentrate on the development of such nations. Our government has taken time to use football in Cameroon to distract the youth because they know that is where the youthful minds are. Remember, even in Cameroon, we have all these jambos that are related to football, that the youths have invested so much on it that they give all the attention to it. But my problem, let me answer your question, Mr. Leo. We have enough time. We are only two of us in the studio.
No, Mr. Shuneh is coming, yes. And there are persons who are writing that they want to call also.
Okay. So, yeah. My problem is that when you talk about Mauritius and the other ones, you discover that not every nation in the world shows great interest in football. Yet, there are some areas where they are more powerful than Cameroon.
But this is a talent that is given now. We are blessed with the talent. So
we are blessed with the talent, but we are using it wrongly. We are using it wrongly. That is why I will maintain that some should be there. Let the failure continue so that we can learn at least a lesson from the failures of the appointee system.
Okay.
But we have not learned. We have not learned.
Okay. Let's take this viewer who has been insisting that he wants to participate on the program. Let us take him. Yep. Yeah, come inside.
My phone will not have space for me to text, but let me just contribute with this voice. If it is okay, you play it. If it is not okay, you delete it. Please. The problem of the national team, when you are a footballer, you face of all, you love the game. When you love the game, you give the game. You don't look for the money, you don't look for the manager, you don't look for the ministry, you don't look for who is. We don't have to blame Etofis. Etofis was playing his game with his passion. He loved the game first before looking at the money. Why are these young Cameroonians looking for the money? You see a player playing in the field, very reluctant. If they can take all these things off the pitch and put a second, they take like a team, like from Eboloa, a team like from Northwest, even a Kumu striker, they put them in the field. They can do much better, serious, to make name. When you are playing football with the passion that you want to make name for your country and for yourself. Not that they are not paying us, they are not giving us prim. If they are not giving you prim, why are you going? Let them stop, let them off. They are disgracing the Cameroon national team color that they are wearing on their body. The second division player, they are playing much better than these people. They are not serious. Let us tell them the truth. They are not serious. If it is possible that the Cameroon, I was a Tofis or Song, they should put it. The 10 provinces of Cameroon they put that Extreme North will bring, Garwa will bring 2 players, either goalkeeper. Marwa will bring 2. Northwest will bring 3. 2 of 3 professional. Then the midfield, Yaoundé. Then Douala will bring either the 9. They share it like that to the whole province. That if your win is leaking, your whole province is leaking, your whole region is leaking. That can help. So if you are playing from your region, you are defending your region, and you are defending yourself, and you are defending your people. So you will not be playing this type of nonsense. Yeah. That is my point.
Thank you very much. But he's raising a point that all the blames now on Song. Nobody talking about the players.
Yes.
Mr. Leo, you and I know that if they are playing players 60 million, the coach earns 420 million. The coach earns twice each player's amount. That's to let you understand that the burden of the team, the technicality, the future of that team lies on the coach.
But can the coach enter and play for them?
No, Mr. Leo. The coach has the map, the way forward. Because the truth is, Song doesn't even know who knows what and plays what. How can Song put Ngamale to play for 5 position? How can Ngamale play 2 shirt where 5 is playing? How? It shows in that he does not even understand the classification. The person we kick out of this country, Conceição, was far more better off than what Song is doing. As much as I did not support the idea for Conceição to stay because I believe in consuming home-based products, I supported Song, but Song is not the right home-based product to carry that team to where it's supposed to be. We saw the case of Enongachi, who took the female national team, at least played the Nations Cup finals in our country here. At least if a country reaches at the final, you understand that sometimes it's a stroke of luck that somebody gets in the final to win. But to be sincere, Song has not been the coach we expected him to be. Song attempted, what is
Hello?
Song's?
Hello?
Hello? Hello?
Hello?
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah, hello, good evening.
Yes.
Yeah, good evening.
Yeah. Your contribution, please.
Good evening.
Good evening. Your contribution, please.
So I'm very disappointed in the Yes, I'm very disappointed in the national team.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm very disappointed in the national team. Just can you imagine that somebody will take that this is my profession and you cannot defend your profession? Okay. Yeah. People, you cannot blame Song and you cannot blame it to this.
Okay.
These are not the people that
Okay.
the fish. It is the players that they need to finish everything. The lack of finishing, the lack of passing, the lack of
Okay, thank you. Yes, many persons think that the players are to blame, eh?
No, Mr. Leo, the players are not to blame.
Okay.
If a car has an accident, you don't hold passengers, you hold the driver. If there's a problem in a family, you don't hold the children, you hold the head. As a matter of fact, Song is the one that decides who plays and who does not play. And the strength of the team is the capacity to match up players to form a formidable team. Are you telling me that since Song was given this national team, he has not been able to structure a perfect 11 players? Which team has Song ever played with completely from the time he went to World Cup till now? Can you tell me a team that Song has played with consistently?
Hello?
That you can count as
Evening.
11.
Yes, I want to contribute. I want to say from the beginning, Song has not been a nice coach. And each time we Cameroonians, we like to support people, we like to choose people according to our feelings. There are good coaches like Mboma. Mboma is a very good and trained coach. There are another coaches that they are far better than Song, but Etofi decided to pick Song because he loves Song. So they are making the Cameroon youth to be failure. There are good coaches that they have went abroad and trained as coach. Ndifakem Victor, Song, and another that they are well-trained coach and they know what to do. So the failure Etofi is not even Song because Song does not know coach. He has not gone to any school to coach national team or even this our second division. So that is professional league or a national league. Not even a second division. So from the beginning, I knew that Song would be a failure. That let them choose who would defend their flag or put right people to right places. To me, that.
Thank you very much, madam. Yes, Apostle.
Yes, Mr. Leo. A coach that has played how many matches and does not have a fixed first 11? Tell me any match that Song has played with a permanent first 11. Song does not have a first 11 till date upon all the time that you have been playing till now. This thing also tribalism is there. Yes, it officials has selected his tribe man, Basa people, to come and frustrate the national team.
Hello? Hello? Yeah, but are we looking at the tribesman or the issue of of competence?
What is Song's rapport when it comes to coaching?
What is his profile?
What is his profile? What is his curriculum vitae?
Yeah, but
what
you
is his record?
you supported him.
I supported him initially because he should give him a try.
Yeah, but why are you talking about what is his profile? Why was his profile?
Thank you. You have now come to.
Why was his profile when you were supporting him?
I was supporting because I believe in the consumption of home-based products.
Hello?
Some play the one match in chat.
Yes, good evening.
Good evening.
Yeah?
Yeah, good evening to your panel. Jimmy from Yaoundé.
Yeah, go on, please.
Yeah, I was at Apostle Ambe. When Song was appointed, I was in full support. Yeah, Mr. Leo, outside with Apostle Ambe, when Song was appointed, I was in full support of Song. But he's not a good coach. I can cite from, let me tell one match, imagine Switzerland the World Cup. When he substituted Choupo-Moting was at his best that day. I shouted, Super Sports commentator, that's their very cry. Our match here in Yaoundé, I was crying for number 20, Brian, to be at the center. He has speed and drip. Our commentator was crying the very cry. Some doesn't know where to put players and where to make changes. In fact,
Okay, sir. Thank you. Yeah. Now, so almost everybody says Song is the problem. Can we, at this juncture, say Song might have learned his lessons? Let's take this one last call, and then we continue the program in here. Yes. Good evening, sir.
good evening, Mr. Leo.
Yeah. Good evening.
Good evening to Apostle Ambe and Ndiwum Emmanuel. Clement from Bamenda.
Yeah, we are on, sir.
Thanking you guys for the good job and giving for the opportunity for us to call live. Yeah, the first thing I want to begin with, in as much as Pastor Apostle Ambe is criticizing Song, the first thing I want to say is players step up. There is a coach give them what to do on the pitch. He cited a very good example about Cameroon playing two. These are things that makes everything goes wrong. Why should you accept it to play a win you are not supposed? Think about Mbeumo. Mbeumo is playing 7, on which he is a left footer. He's supposed to be playing 11. When you, like a player, you accept it to go and play a wrong position in the field, at the end result, you have a wrong result. So let them stood firm on the ground. In as much as we are castigating Onana, although we don't know what happened in Qatar, but it's but normal to stood your ground to say, I played 2, I remain 2. I played 7, I remain 7. Not falling prey to the coach because you want to wear the green, red, yellow, or whatsoever your country flag looks like. It doesn't work that way. It is true. It is very true, as everybody is saying, that Song was not the right person. I was disappointed when Song was appointed. I know if any coach should be appointed would be Noma, but it rather happened the way it happens. But let me tell you one thing. I'm concluding this is what happened. I am trying to see that what happened in 2010 in South Africa, it too is like trying to appease Song by appointing Song into that position. It's not like merit. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Okay, they want to make up for what happened in the Lions game. Yeah, at the expense of. Hello, good evening. Hello, good evening.
Yes, good evening.
Yes, your name and where you are calling from and your contribution, please.
Yeah, this is Elias calling from Hello?
Yeah, go on, Elias.
Yes, it's Elias from Linde. Yes, Mr. Kum is... Yes, Mr. Kum is if you look upon what is happening with the national team now, you will come to believe that, to me, I want to look at it as kind of politics, because everything has been politicized. Because if you look at the whole structure, you will see that there's a lot of problem. I want to also side with the last caller who said there is a very big problem when you are playing this wing and then you've been assigned to play the other wing and then you accept to go in for. I want to think that this whole thing goes like a kind of military rule, you know, whereby you're not supposed to dictate. And the last caller will agree with me that when you are given instruction, you just follow as it is. So I don't want to think that players will come to start dictating where they are supposed to play in order to, take their right positions as it is being said. But I also want to think that the coach is really the real driver who is supposed to start the car and decide the direction and drive at the wing that is supposed to drive. So not the passenger directing the driver on how he has to go. So I also agree with Apostle Ambe for saying the right thing. The coach is supposed to be blamed. I remember some couple of days ago I was discussing these same worries that all the Cameroonians are going through. This trauma. I remember that one of my friends told me that Song has been a patient who just survived from some kind of stroke, and he was thank God that he came back to life. But it wouldn't appear that even following the history of his health, he was not supposed to be made as a coach to carry this heavy responsibility on him at this present moment. So, and I also want to agree with other callers who says there are so many coaches in Cameroon, and let it not be political that Song must be here. And it's really a big trauma to Cameroonians. Honestly, we have been so much traumatized. We see everybody's reacting. Yeah, thank you. That is my take on this.
Thank you very much. Okay, we're going to stop the calls for now. We've opened the lines.
Mr. Leo, you were asking where if Song has not learned his lessons as of now. Mm-hmm. You know, when Song came up with a theory of danger against Algeria, many people thought that Song said it consciously. Song was saying it out of frustration, but by virtue of luck and chance, they went and won Algeria. And they started believing that Song had a theory. Song has no theory nowhere. My only problem is that from day one, I was crucified for standing against Song taking over the national team of Cameroon. I was bashed even in the quarters. That Song has no profile. He has no credentials that qualifies him to be the national team coach in Cameroon. But I want to disagree with that caller who said, when you are playing two, you should stand by your ground and disrespect the coach that you are playing to. I want to cite him some players. We had this young man in Netherlands, Arjen Robben, who used to play with the left winger, but he came up with a new system in football that a left footer could play 7 with that left foot. Ronaldo followed. Wesley Sneijder followed, and it has been succeeding. In modern football, it has proven that every player needs to be dynamic. Even a player playing on the field should have an idea of goalkeeping, because at one point, you know the story of Barthez, how he became a goalkeeper. He was formerly he was not a goalkeeper, but at one time he became a goalkeeper. As a player on the pitch, you need to have an idea of any win, so that if there is a loophole in that win, you can make up. That is why we say the technicality, the technical ability of the coach is what we need in Cameroon, and we have it at 0 degree level. But we cannot be blaming the coach, because in all of this, we know we are in our beautiful, tribalistic, corrupt country. Tribalism must have played in this thing, because I want to apologize. I don't want to stigmatize any tribe tonight. But people who need to know that Song is a Bassa. Samuel Eto'o is a Bassa. Why, coincidentally, was it only a Bassa man that could take over the national team as a coach?
Please.
We have people like Achille Webo. We have people like Patim Mboma. We have people like Joseph Antoine Bell.
But when at the level of the national team, women Len with Bassa, Song Bahana with Bassa, Alexander Song with Bassa, Samuel Eto'o with Bassa, and all of that worked because they were competent. Was it an issue of tribalism?
No, you
all of them.
You have already cited all of them.
There was a time where
it was a blend of talents, Mr.
There was a time where Kanabi was Bassa, Oman Big was Bassa, and Benjamin Massin was Bassa. They all played. When we have 10 regions, but you have these guys who are talented. Why?
No, we cannot downplay their talents. Yes. Let's be sincere. But these talents,
are you saying that if Song had delivered, you would be making this argument?
Mr. Leo, we need only one coach and an assistant. We are talking about a football team that needs 11 players that can come even from one region if they are competent.
No, but that's what you're saying.
But then at that time, have you asked yourself, was the coach from Bassa? The person who was selecting it was not from Bassa. It was even a foreign coach. Wilfried Schäfer was a German. He was not a foreign coach. He based his argument on talent, and it worked.
Yeah, but
this time around, we are talking about the head coach who is supposed to have extra technical abilities than you and I, who are just observers. So that example does not really hold water to me. I want to think that from day one till now, I maintain Song was not even supposed to be an assistant coach in this team. When I said it, people came after me, but today we are seeing the result. I want to think where he is now, he should not be changed. It is even more dangerous. Let's manage him till we see whether we are qualifying or not. But I have a feeling that we will qualify. Not because Song will qualify us. And we should not only keep crucifying Song. A football team is made up of 11 players. When the players know that they don't have a good coach, at one point they can prove their coach wrong by doing the right thing. Yeah. Even when you look at the match yesterday, the lackadaisical nature in which the players were playing, you show that the coach had no game plan. The players themselves had no confidence. They were playing as if it was a try and error match. Our players should also equally take part of the blame. You saw the goalkeeper. His timing of coming out has always been a problem. And that is where we still blame Song again. At this point in time, I think we need to take humility down our pride. We have a certain Onana in this country. We have a certain Ondua who made Cameroon proud in 2017. Until date, Camerooners do not even know what happened. We have Ngande Gaji that the news have been everywhere. We don't know what happened with these players. So I think it is time for them to sit back together, have a new game plan, bring back everybody on board, and find their way to go to Côte d'Ivoire, even though it will be difficult.
Even though it will be difficult, two teams are going to qualify from our pool.
Yeah, so Cameroon still has a chance. Yeah, they have a chance. They need a win.
We are going to qualify even with a draw. If we draw, we are going to.
No, if we draw, Namibia wins. Burundi has 2 matches. If Burundi wins the 2 matches and we draw, we are going home.
Yeah, but we are going to, we are going to beat Burundi. Yeah, but why are we not looking at the commitment? Less at the commitment of the players themselves. They know that they have to go to the Nations Cup. If the coach is not competent, but these are guys who are playing, they're applying their trade out there in Europe. They know the essence, the importance of the Nations Cup to Cameroonians. They know how passionate. He just made mention of the fact that they were playing lackadaisically, without so much confidence, without commitment. Did they actually place the impact of what they were doing on what the aspirations? Did they take into consideration the aspirations and expectations of Cameroonians? Let's put Song aside.
Mr. Leo, football is a collective game.
Okay.
The Namibian team is made up of home-based players. The foreign player who plays there is Peter Charolile, who plays at Mamelodi Sundowns in South Africa. That football team is players who play consistently among themselves. So they understand themselves better. That is why the football from the Namibian side is collective. Now, coming from the Cameroon national team, these players are not playing in the same environment. They don't play in the same league. They don't play in the same team. So everybody is coming from another angle. This is where the skill and the ability of the coach is supposed to be demonstrated. Because a man who is coaching Canon Yaoundé and somebody is coaching Kotor Sport, whom they play consistently, they can easily build a team from those two teams to face another country. That's what the Namibian national team looks like. It's a team of home-based players who play collectively in their league, local league consistently. And then with the professional who plays in Mamelodi Sundowns, that their captain who's called Peter Charolile. That is the kind of football team that they have there. Now, in the Cameroon national team, this man will come from Olympiacos or Dynamo, Kunde Malong. This one will come from Nantes. This one will come from Bekstesa. They will come from this team. When these people come from different teams, they are not playing collectively in one league. The skill of the coach, that is what counts. How you are able to look at this person and blend with this person. Take this person and blend with this person. So it falls back to the technicality of the coach. I can tell you that a coach in Cameroon that have been watching Kotor Sport, Unisport, UMS Loom, Tonnerre, Canon play together, has the capacity to select a very collective team because these players play in the same league and they understand how they operate. Not like the Cameroon national team, where a player is flying from Turkey, the other is flying from Greece, the other is flying from Germany, the other is flying from France, the other is flying from Japan, the other is from America, and they come. These people are not playing the same league. Now it takes the coach's ability to sit down and be able to ascertain that, okay, after watching Nuhu Tolo played in City Sanders in America and watching Abubakar in the sectors in Turkey, and it is important for me to know who to blend from City Sanders and know who to add from Obu, Tekunde Malone from Dynamo, and add. That is how the coach's ability now is demonstrated, and that is what our all good, nice brother Song doesn't have. Song is a good player, not a coach. The error we are making is that being a good player translates into a coach. That is an error of the century. That is a good player does not mean he's a coach. I think we're supposed to go equally into Song's profile. Song coach chart. I don't know whether it's a first division to the national team in Chad. I don't know if he ever won a match there in Chad. That is the kind of report we are supposed to check. But now, since we are patriotic citizens, and we are so passionate as Pan-Africans to see what in Africa, welcome Africa to grow, we supported and given the opportunity, just like Cisse was given the opportunity. And Cisse did not mess up the way Song is messing up right now, before even going to the extent of taking the Nations Cup. I think Song has not given us any impression that even if we give him chance for the next 3 to 4 years, he will do better. Song, that thing called coaching, should be kept out of his vocabulary for now. And Song should look for someone to go and submit under mentorship, to be groomed to become a coach, because he isn't yet a coach. I don't care the coaching academy he went to, and I don't care the qualification he has. To be sincere, he's supposed to sit under someone to be groomed and properly mature to know how to blend players, because the technicality of a team and the skill of a team is in the brain of the coach, not just in the feet of the players. Those same players that are there, if you give it to a very smart coach, he will know how to blend them together. And if he puts a team in the field, you'll be amazed at the kind of result those players are playing, because in their respective clubs, those players are doing extremely well. The problem is now knowing who to put to blend who in the field, because football is collective.
Hello? Okay. So many persons are writing and calling to take part in today's edition. Good evening to you people at the studio. Some of the faults in the past match is as follows. The front attackers don't shoot at the pole. Short and senseless passes even at the defense. No speed. Players stand and wait for the ball instead of to run for the ball. Inexperience and lack of collectiveness in all. The coach should not be blamed much, because the players must put in extra energy. Okay. Good evening. Yeah, good evening. Please, please, when you call, can you move away from your screen? Don't try to listen to yourself before talking. Just move away from your screen, and then you call, and we'll get you participate on the program. Hello?
Good evening, sir.
Yeah, good evening. Your name and where you're calling from and your contribution.
Joseph, I'm calling from Limbe.
Okay.
The problem of the Cameroon national team is cited from the management. Let's keep the players aside, because this player will not do what they are not being asked or told to do. For example, let's take it back to the World Cup. When we lost to Switzerland, Onana, who is the goalkeeper that sees all of the field, got a complaint to the management that this player is causing this and this at the defense. For the management to take a decision, instead they sent Onana home. That sending Onana home caused us to lose to Serbia. And then we went and lost and beat Brazil. If you look at the lineup that they used against the first match, Switzerland, how can Abubakar score 6 goals in the Nation Cup and then you don't use him as a starter in the first match? You need to win to solidify your qualification to the next round. When I watched the match against Cameroon against Namibia in Cameroon, it was just a total flop. The players, they don't know what they were doing. How? The national team is seriously just a mess. If they want to fix it, if we are serious, because now football is the only thing that is bringing us together in this country. The economy has failed. Everything is failing. The one that want to manage now into football, they are just doing it like this. If they really want to fix this team, it's just to remove some. If they don't want to use Ashirebo or Ashirebo, that is a big coach we know, Boma Patrick, there are many other people. The tribalism has hit not the national team to a level where it is almost beyond repair. It's almost beyond repair, my brother. Thank you.
Okay, thank you very much for your participation. Let me take some of the viewers what they are saying. We're going to suspend calls so that we get... good evening, sir. The coach lacks the technical know-how to manage the team. He seems to be realizing himself too late. He only used the right combinations during the last match against Brazil. When it was too late again, he put in the right combination towards the end of the return match against Namibia. Our team has great players, but Song cannot manage them. The bitter truth is Song is not competent. Terence is writing from Gaundal. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panelists. Well, it is really painful, disappointing, and humiliating to the position of our #1 spot, which happens to be the unifying factor we all left with in Cameroon. To be very honest with you, the biggest mistake was when the former coach who had built up the team to a certain level was dismissed. To my opinion, Song would have been an assistant coach to the former in order to master the players before becoming a full manager. Now everything has fallen apart and the center cannot hold. Prince Bile is writing from Germany. Good evening to the entire panel. I watched on a home-based TV station, a training session where Song and the players were training how to score basketball goals. How sane and normal is that for a football team? And what results should be expected from such a team preparation? It's like training for mountain race and going to compete in swimming. Alfanui Divine writing from Yaoundé. Good evening, Mr. Liu and all the members of the panel. I wish to contribute that if the team is not doing fine, think in modern football era, when a team is not doing fine, the coach has to be blamed. Song is not competent to coach the national team, so we shouldn't be calling it to cause Song is the problem. Eyeni Sen writing from Guti. Good evening, great minds in the studio. Ngum Clifford writing from Bafia. We have players from Brentford, Chelsea, Germany, Besiktas, Saudi Arabia, Wolves, Nantes, Napoli, etc. But we can't even play good football, not to talk of winning against home-based players in Namibia. Is this not witchcraft? Let me advise Song and Eto. Those guys are already stinkingly rich in their clubs. Please call home-based players that are still hungry and want to make a name in Europe, and they will deliver. This one says, when there is victory, they don't look for the coach. But when there is defeat, we blame the coach. Song will surely improve. Give him time. Good evening, Mr. Kum and your team. My contribution is that all have to be blamed, from coach to players. No love in the team. Good evening, Mr. Leo. The responsibility and the performance of the team rests on the shoulders of the coach, just like the responsibility and performance of a student rests on the shoulders of a teacher. Good evening, Mr. Leo and all the panelists. Concerning the topic of discussion, I said it and will continue to say it. Being a good student does not make one a good teacher. Song achieved so much for Cameroon in the pitch, while it will achieve so much in the pitch out there in Europe. But believe me, whether we like it or not, these two guys cannot bring any success to Cameroon's football. Song and Eto'o are the problem. Song is the television and Eto'o is the remote control. Elijah is writing from Bamenda. Song has never composed a lineup by himself. Eto'o is the one choosing the players. It's time for the two to go. The appointment of Song as coach of the national team by Eto'o was based on friendship and not merit. Please, Song should be sacked immediately. Ngwa Waters is writing from Kumbu. Good evening, Mr. Kum. Good evening to you guys. Special appreciation to you, Mr. Kum, for your wonderful skills in coordination and neutrality. I admire your skills. Keep it up. Song should be replaced with immediate effect. Case closed. John is writing from Banyu. Good evening, sir. I'm Lucas in Melon. The problem in our football team is Song. He is a good selector, but not a trainer. Looking at the players, they have never trained together as a team and so do not know themselves. And Song takes all the time to call players, but no time to train. Okay, so many messages that are coming in. But now, some people think that Song should be given time. Do we still have time for Song? We have one last match to play, and then the Nations Cup is coming up next year.
Mr. Liu, to the best of my understanding, when a man is given power in America, I'm calling it as the first word. They assess your leadership skill and ability during the first 100 days. If the first 100 days you are in office, you cannot deliver anything, they start putting a question mark on your head. And there is a possibility that the next 4 years of the country will be in trouble. And they might probably not vote you in a second tenure because the first 100 days you could deliver. I'm sure Song has been beyond that first 100 days in the office. And he has been given sufficient time and opportunity to display. I'm telling you that because even friendly matches that we played before going to the World Cup, Song was not performing. South Korea got us. Imagine Kazakhstan. The kind of countries that defeat us, Uzbekistan, that defeated us when we played with them. Then what kind of coach are we having? It's from every indication, Song has proven to Cameroonians that he is not competent as a coach. We will celebrate him for giving us Nation Cups. We will celebrate him for taking us to Sydney, to Confederation Cup. We will celebrate him for all the glories he brought as a footballer. But I think that there is more to coaching than just playing in the pitch, because a particular time comes where it is the skill of the coach that counts. I have watched football where Sir Alex Ferguson, you see the ability of a coach. You see what Mourinho took a small team, I think it was the Sporting of Lisbon, and turned FC Porto, and turned Champions League upside down. You see the skill of a coach. Even after that kind of 10 to 15 minutes at the end of the match, you see a coach who do changes within the space of 5 minutes, and then the football match turns into something else. Song has not given us such manifestation as a coach. He has not. We have seen in most occasions that most of the victories are based on the changes that the coaches do from time to time. And you discover that a coach can sit like there and watch a match. Rafael Benito will be watching a match and is writing. You see him, you just pick 2-3 person and change, and then football changes. Some has never and ever for once stood beside that field with a pen in his hand on a paper. All we have been getting from Song is philosophy. Celui qui crase l'arachide avec un aveugle va continuer à chanter parce qu'il faut que l'on savoir qu'il ne mange pas l'arachide là. Celui qui a vu un lion. Did we employ a philosopher, a poet, a historian, or a coach? Because Song has offered us more proverbs than wings. Song has given us more stylistic devices in literature, has given us more statements than wings. So we were wondering if at all we employed a philosopher, a poet, a novelist, or some stranger, because the thing we called him to come to do was to give us wins in football matches. But the thing that Song gave us most in office, number one, is dancing. If you look at most of the videos on social media, Song is doing well in dancing. He dances very well, and he has very outstanding proverbs that he has given to us. I was wondering if at all it is Bontolok that we employed to coach the national team, or it was a footballer, because song has given us more progress and dance than victories. What we need from you, song, is not proverbs. What we need from you, song, is not dances. What we need from you, song, is victories. Please give us victories.
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, hello. Good evening.
Good evening, sir.
Hello.
Yes, go on. Your name and where you're calling from, and your contribution, please.
My name is Rafael.
Yes, go on. Your name and where you're calling from, and your contribution, please.
My name is Rafael. I'm calling from India.
Go on, please.
Yeah, I want to try to say the problem is not about the player. The problem is from the head. The problem is from the head. The Africa food, our president of Africa food, with the coach, they are having a problem too. Because now, when this way, somebody is putting his own and putting his own line up to feel the call and do changes the line up. The respondents from the head, both of them.
Okay, thank you very much. Okay, Ndiwum, you think that we should not also give time to Song? At least we need to win the match again.
No, I started by saying that we should give Song enough time. We should give Song enough time. My only regret is that each coach has a game plan I have not seen yet from Song. Again, there are players who can rise above the weaknesses of their coach and give victory to a nation. I am yet to see such players in the Cameroon team. When you look at people like Lionel Messi, Cristiano Ronaldo, outstanding, Thomas Müller, it is because at one point in time, they no longer even communicate with the coach. When the going gets tough, they use their individualistic abilities to deliver, to make the coach proud. And that also, again, remotivates the coaches. We have not seen that in the Cameroonian team. We need players who are passionate first. You will discover and bear with me that at the time, in the days of Cameroon football glory, that Song and the rest were bringing to us, more money was not pumped into that activity as it is done today. Most people today, when they are called into the Lions Den, they already draw a program of how much should be stocked somewhere. Once the money enters their hand, they don't care whether the nation is in tears when they win or when they lose. And again, when you look at the way Cameroon team is being managed, it reflects, it gives you a reflection of how the entire country is being managed. Because from top to bottom is a failure, yet nobody has a concern about it. We should not only think that it is Song who make a difference. Those who were there before Song had their own weaknesses. That is where I buy the idea of apostle, that we have always cried for the consumption of home-produced goods, but Song was not the right good produced at home to be consumed. You can produce another product back in your home wrongly that will end up as poison in your stomach. Song is that poison as of now, but I think that we should maintain him till the last match of the qualifier, because it will be very dangerous to push him out at this time. We saw in 2011 how Zambia, that had given a pause to football, what I was saying here, I was struggling to contradict. They gave a pause to football, rebuilt. After the incident that took place, the cheap Polos came back in a very humble manner in 2011, humbly moved from one stage of the competition to another and won the Nations Cup. I think Cameroon is not too big to come back to that level if they discover that it is not going, because the problems in the Cameroon team have been multiplying over time. So I want to think, if they finally discover that it is not going, let them not base on the fact that they constructed Olembe, that created Can Gate, they constructed whatsoever. They should come down, rebuild their team from home, and I will still insist that we need a home-based coach, because even the amount that is given to Song is not up to the amount that used to be given to those coaches that we used to hire them from outside. But as of now, I am not for the fact that Song should be driven. He should finish his fufu, as they said in a quarter, with the qualification games before the management sees what to do with him. If only his boss, Samuel Eto'o, will be okay and will have to renew his contract or to extend it.
Okay, so many calls coming in. I see people are passionate to discuss this topic. Good evening.
Hello, Mr. Liu. Good evening, and to all the panelists.
Yeah, good evening. Your name, where you are calling from, and your contribution.
It's Valentine Ninja calling from DOP.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to think that the national team under Song's leadership isn't a bad idea, but I think the fate of the players is the problem. We have a group of players whom I do not see them play with any passion. They do not play with the love of the nation. They do not play as though 28 million people are looking up to them to give them a reason to smile after each match. Those guys, it seems like they are overpaid and they lack passion. It is true the head coach takes the blame, but I also want to think that what Eto'o had been doing, where he went into the dressing room after each match and shouted at them, and some Cameroonians said he was overstepping his bounds. I think Eto'o was just doing the right thing, and this is what these guys need. They play as though they are playing in Takwata. They don't play as though they are playing and they are carrying the glory of 28 millions on them. I think the main thing is passion. It is true, passion can be instilled into them by the head coach. But again, maybe the general structure, how the football team is structured, there should be some lesson that instills passion into these young Cameroonians called players. My issue is passion. Some can deliver if that structure of passion is put into the players. That's my humble contribution. Thank you so much.
Thank you very much. Yes, he believes that Song can deliver. We need to give him some time. This one says, good evening. Your name, where you are calling from?
Yeah.
Yeah.
My contribution is that we lack sportsmanship in our national team. That's my first contribution. Secondly, the coach take decisions without even looking at the population behind him. If we want to look further, we will see that we had a goalkeeper in 2017, which was Fabrice Ngwa. But today, he was kicked out of the national team with no reason and without anything. No counter to give to anyone while he was driven. Today, we go and do goalkeeper from left to right, left to right. That is not the sportsmanship. When players that have their own internal lucky, they are going further, go extra mile for the
Oops.
1 second. One thing again I want to insist on to the players of Cameroon is that once you are putting on the green, red, yellow jersey, you are like a soldier going to the war front. At that war front, you don't care whether you are paid or not. You fight for the battle. You win it first. Come back home before you say what is wrong, what went wrong, and what went right. But that is not what the players have been doing.
Yeah,
they keep their money.
Yeah, good evening, sir. Hello, good evening. Yes.
Hello.
Yeah, good evening.
Evening. I'm Blanco from.
Okay, your contribution.
Yes. Evening. I'm Blanco from Blanco.
Roland, go on.
Yes. I was talking pigeon. That's how much more.
Go on.
Na say, yeah, you answer and I say,
that man, where they make the coach, America, considering Cameroon, where they use them. They say if we plan, then two. So when so we get on team, make a year, what you Cameroon, and the way we get on the year. We want to be a song for World Cup for Qatar. Some people are the problem. They want to be giving some good advice and on an advance which about in the country. Where you want to now? If you talk about some sort of advance which by don't this the country. So that for nothing to change because the highest pay is before the other part of the talk. That's support for Ambe. Cameroon, they take doctor put up a manager. Then manager put up a doctor. They teach Cameroon that. What are they called? My countryman. Mama make it be so. Because they run now. When we join our head together, we be one person. For this is all we want. So I help with it. Okay,
Roland, thank you very much. We are going to stop the calls for now. Yes. What is the way out for our national team and Cameroon's football?
Simple. We need an experienced coach who knows how to blend players to make the football collective. Because our footballers are professional footballers that do not play in the same league. They come from different angles, and it takes a skillful and a tactical coach to be able to handpick players from different angles and be able to blend them together. Because people understand people's playing style. We can have very good players, but we don't know how to blend them because each one doesn't understand the other player's style of play. And I think it's very important, and that is where the brain of a coach comes in. It's not just the skill of a player or that round object in that rectangular box that we enjoy every day called football. It takes the tacticality of a coach and his skill and his ability to be able to pick somebody from America and somebody from Japan and somebody from Portugal and somebody from France and bring them together and be able to understand that this man can play collectively with this person. Because I think that we have so much talent that are haphazardly placed, and that's the reason why the football, the beauty of the game is not coming out. The color of the bone in the game is not coming because we have so many talents dispersed in the field and wrongly positioned. It's just like colors. If you take colors, no matter how beautiful they are, you don't blend them together, it will be a problem. Somebody cannot wear pink shirt and then wear yellow trouser and then wear green shoe. All these colors are naturally good, but because they are not properly blended, it will make you look like some masquerade. And that's the problem how we have national team. National team is a team that has good colors, but the colors are not properly blended. We have good players. Kunde Malong is a good player. Ngamale is a good player. From the goalkeeper, all of them are good players. Not that you can. There's no particular player you can point and say this player was responsible for this mess, because most of them delivered maximally. Is it Zamboangisa? You appreciate him. Is it Kemeng? You appreciate him. Is it Ngamale? You appreciate him. Is it Nuutolo? You appreciate him. So you cannot practically place a finger on that individual who is responsible for the failure of the team. So the failure is that we have good players who are not properly blended. They are dispersed and they are not placed in collective area where they can make the game sweet. And this is a coach's responsibility. A player cannot decide where to play and when to play. There are many players that are born. I was watching the first match, Cameroon, Namibia, the match in Yaoundé. You could see Kunde Malong in the reserve bench bubbling. You could see his face. He was communicating something. Oh, put me in this man, put me in that. And then by a stroke of luck, I'm sure some also sensed in his spirit and then put him. They put him. The second ball that Kunde Malong gave as crop was what that gave the equalizer. Yes, that is to tell you that there was a player in the field that could blend with another player out of the field, could blend with another player in the field, but the player was kept outside. So I think the whole blame falls on Song's shoulders because he is the one. The first solution to the problem is one, the coach is supposed to be changed. I insist Song goes out of the national team. If he's appointed as assistant coach, that would be good, but somebody more experienced and skillful should guide Song so far, and somebody who has a track record in football so that Song can serve under him as a mentee while he guides him on how to manage crucial matches like this. The next thing we have to understand is that the players do not have sufficient time to train together. Players will come to Cameroon today and they are playing after tomorrow, day after tomorrow. When will they have time to train together and be able to understand each other? No cohesion, no collectivity. So I think they should devise a strategy where these players can meet a week or two before any match and then take time to train together.
Yeah, but who release them from their clubs for 2 weeks? Nobody does that.
Now, when seasons are over, why is it that we only want to train to have matches? That's the problem. We only train to have matches. When the seasons are over and the players are free, so when they come for holidays here, why don't they take that time and say, okay, now it's time to understand national football. You have been playing international football. Now it's time to understand national football and bring them together. The national team should not be a seasonal team that comes when we have match. The national team is a team that's supposed to be consistent and punctual and consistent.
Yeah, but Apostle, they too need rest.
Mr. Liu, we are not against them not having rest. Yeah. I'm saying that the national team should not be a kind of team that is habitual.
Hello?
Only occasionally.
Hello, good evening.
Yeah, good evening, please.
Yeah, your name, where you're calling from?
This topic, Mr. Ignatius, for calling from Boya.
Yeah, go on, please.
Yeah, Mr. Ignatius, for calling from Boya.
Go on, Mr. Ignatius.
Yes, Mr. Leo, when you look at the performance of the Indomitable Lions of yesterday, I must avoid that match. But I really noticed that the players, they were not really serious. Yes. They didn't really go in to win the match. Yes, they just went for that match for playing sake, to play a football match. Yes. Because when we look at the first goal, the defense, when the goalkeeper punched the ball and another attacker now has to score. And then the second goal, Abubakar dodged that shot. Yes. Yes. Abubakar dodged that shot. You cannot, the goalkeeper has placed them on the right position, and Azar was concentrating on the other part of the goal post. When they kicked the ball now, Abubakar dodged the ball. And then what surprised me again was that one player lie down on the attack line. One player lie down. I don't know the meaning of that. They lie behind the other players. So I do not know the meaning of that. Then when you look at the way they were giving their passes, yes, the way they were giving their passes, inaccurate passes, yes, as if they didn't know the kind of match that they were playing, as if it was just a Cartier match. So when I look at that match, before the end of the match, I was blaming the players. I did not blame some. Yes, I did not blame some. Some is I believe that to pick an ex-Indomitable Lion to go in to coach the Indomitable Lion should be a pride for all the other Indomitable Lion players, for his junior brothers, whom he is putting on the pitch to play on behalf of the Cameroon national team. It should be a pride that when they go in, they have to make him proud. You see, they have to make him proud. Because this issue of just giving blame to coach to some can make it. Some can. If the players want some to succeed, some will succeed. Yes. But if they don't want him to succeed, he will not succeed. Yes. Because in as much as the World Cup, we saw that he did not put Abubakar in the first match. We saw that he replaced the goalkeeper. All this, if you sum up all this, you realize that they are not giving him enough respect. Yes, they are not giving him that respect. Because even if the song does not take your opinion, as a player, you are not supposed to get angry. Yes, you are not supposed to get angry. All this is cooperation and teamwork. So I think that we should give some more time. We should give some more time so that those that really have Cameroon at heart and love their former Indomitable Lion player, somebody who has given so much for this country. Yes, as a player, you must make your errors. He makes some errors, but he gives so much in this
this country.
Thank you very much, sir.
Yes. So yes, I think that they should give him more time.
Okay.
So that he can make it. Yes.
Thank you.
My contribution. Thank you.
Okay.
Stalio, you are asking for the way forward.
Yeah.
Even if they give you all the best players in the world, the Ronaldo, the Messi, the Neymars, the Mbappes, and you as a coach cannot blend them, you will never come out with a good team. That explains why we have even seen one of the teams in the world with the toppest players that have failed to win a major competition in their lifetime. I want to think that by now, Song himself must have taken an introspection to actually know that he himself is not qualified to be called a coach. That's one. Since we don't have the culture of resignation in Cameroon, his management should be thinking of what to do with Song. Because from day one, I never sided with Song being a coach. He remains one of my idols in Cameroon football, but not a coach. Two, the players should know that just like the military men fighting Boko Haram in the far north and those fighting in northwest and southwest, once you put up the national jersey on you, you are not going out again to look for money. You are going on a battle. And until you win that battle, you don't need to look back at the face of Cameroonians smiling. When you are at the war front, you have to put up a wild look. What am I saying in this context? Players in Cameroon have taken most matches as a joke. For example, the case of yesterday, how could Abubakar dodge a ball? I agree with that caller because it is actually Abubakar that dodged that ball. You discover that the goalkeeper did not even make a move. He only discovered that it was already inside the net when the barrier, the people who were there at the defense, one person had displaced himself. So I want to think, when you are fighting for the nation, people sing patriotism every day. Playing football for your nation is also patriotism. Winning a match for your nation is a fruit of patriotism. It is not only to come and see.
Valentine, good evening.
Yeah, good evening. Long time, sir.
Yes.
Yes, greetings to all the panelists.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm happy about the program. Yes, the thing is that even though the coach is supposed to be blamed because he's the head managing all the players, but the problem is that the players were never really serious on the pitch.
Okay.
If you see the seriousness that they put at that last match between Cameroon and Brazil, the players, they were determined to win the match, and they won it. Look at that third position when Cameroon hosted the Nation Cup. At the time that Antonio Conceição was keeping out Abubakar Vincent and Carl Toko Ekambi, I don't know what was happening, because maybe he was not a national coach, but by the time that he brought them in, you saw the fire that they bring in the match. They were serious, they were determined, and they equalized the match, and at the end, they went through penalties and they succeed. So winning a football match depends on the determination of the players themselves even. Yes, so to me it was really that maybe they were not taking it serious simply because they knew that it was two people that have to advance from the group or whatsoever. But to me, they should really change Mr. Song because there are other more better coaches. Ashiwebo is a trained coach. He can even coach a team in the Champions League. He obtained that diploma which I saw it. Yes, it is good. Even like Patrick Boma. Yes. So they should keep him aside and look for another good person. Cameroon is placed with good players, but the problem is the management. And even the person who is at the head like Mr. Eto, he should allow the management of the football team to the team manager who has been appointed or who has been put in place. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Mr. Valentine. We are going to I'll take two messages and then we move on to our next topic for today. Good evening. Please let Cameroonians not crucify Song. When we won Brazil in the World Cup, people said he wasn't a bad coach. Cameroonians, We have to stop calling, please. Shh. Okay. People said he wasn't a bad coach. Cameroonians should recall that football is evolving everywhere. Namibia is not exception to this. Did Nigeria, with all the stars, not lost in Abuja against a little-known Guinea-Bissau? In my opinion, let us give Song more time. Today, we are praising Senegal under their former captain like Song. Senegalese were patient with him. However, the performance of the national team was below average. Song needs to step up his role, while the players also be patriotic enough to fight for the country. I remain optimistic that we shall qualify for Ivory Coast 2023 if that the current red flags are serious. Shea Dominic writing from Yaoundé. Greetings, Mr. Liu. I think Song should go in for more formation, and I see Pep Guardiola as the best coach to mentor him, because for me he is the best. Okay, I'm very angry because that same match makes me lost 154,000 francs in my expert yesterday. Good evening, Mr. Liu and the panel. I think Song is not a good coach. He doesn't know who to start at the match and who to finish. I think the objective of any team is to start the match and take advantage of the opponent, which is not the case with Cameroon. They are always been led before they start fighting for a draw or win at the last minute. Vitalis Teka is writing from Yaoundé. We're moving straight to our second topic, which has to do with the re-election of the Senate and National Assembly presidents in the persons of the Right Honorable Cavaye Jibril and Niat Hon. Many persons were speculating, hoping to see a new person actually man the top job for these two institutions. To note that the President of the National Assembly has been president since 1992 till date. Is he the man for the job given our context? Apostle Ambe Valentine Ngwa.
Well, Mr. Leo, we are becoming very used to the way things are operating in this country. We are no longer accepting anything anymore because they are right. We accept them because we are compelled to accept things the way they are. We live in a society where the masses do not have a choice. We live in a society where the opinion of the people doesn't count. We live in a society where whatever you say falls on deaf ears and is looked upon with blind eyes. And I think the re-election or the reselection, I don't think elections the election is actually the word to be used. It should be selection. I mean, just add S before the election, you get selection. The reselection of the president of the Senate and that of the National Assembly is not something that is new. They have given us the impression that a particular group of persons in this country are the best we can ever have, who are not even able to deliver as far as leadership is concerned. Because I wonder if at all the persons who re-elected or reselected those individuals actually, if you ask their opinion one-on-one in a closed door, they will be able to tell you the truth, that they truly voted those people to come back to power. Because I think there are a lot of things that need to be put together for somebody to constitute leadership. And I think these people who are reselected or rather re-elected do not have the qualities of people who have to man such responsibilities. I think a leader should be somebody who is physically balanced, who is physically sound, who is mentally apt, who has vitality, vigor, who also has the ability to manage events, circumstances, and somebody also who has a track record to have done something better in the past. But I'm yet to go into the profiles of these individuals who have been re-elected over and over. I'm yet to find out their track record, the good things they have done so far. They've been given the place of leadership. I'm yet to find out any testimony that we can attest that, okay, since this man came to power in 1992, the nation has turned from this to this. I'm yet to find out. So they don't have any credible testimony. They don't have any credible background. They don't have any track record to convince us that it is because of what they are doing that the people keep re-electing them. Look at the case of Paul Kagame. It was the parliament of his country that insisted to prolong his tenure in office because of the impact he was making. John Pombe Magufuli, who is of late, may his soul rest in peace, was supposed to go for 2 terms in office in Tanzania. The parliament, based on the impact he did in his first 5 years in office, they revised the constitution of Tanzania for him to go for a 3rd tenure in office. He was the one that refused. I'm yet to find out what these people we are putting as presidents of Senate and National Assembly, what they have done that will cause Cameroonians to keep re-electing them, to keep insisting that they stay in power, to keep trusting God that we can even use them at old age. Just like the Sri Lankan president who is on wheelchair and he's still insisting of going for a 5th term, a 5th term in office. I'm yet to see if at all. Or is it Ali Bongo who has stroke in Gabon and is still contesting to become president? I'm yet to find out if Africa is under a curse or these things are normal. So I don't see the re-election, if you put it in quote, the reselection of those 2 persons as the wish of the people. It is just the decision of some top-notch officials.
Okay, top-notch officials. On what balance sheet could we justify or understand their re-election? Ndiwum? Or is the fact that we don't understand the internal workings of both the National Assembly and the Senate?
Explain Cameroon to me enough. If I understand it, it is either you explained it wrongly or there is something wrong with my reasoning. So I need to be taken to the hospital. 31 years down the line that Cavaye Jibril has been in that house, I don't think, I will not be exaggerating, I don't think there's something we should celebrate about him. The only few things we can celebrate about him.
There are laws that have been voted in that house through him. The constitution was changed through him, and some other things were done. Just to know that, Siaka Shuneh was assigned by the Central Committee of the CPDM party to be part of this discussion. He has been caught in traffic. I'm sure he's not been able to be here. So a CPDM militant was supposed to be part of this discussion. Okay.
So Musale, I was saying that some time ago, there was a wild news that circulated in this country and we never received any response from him. With a long list of the Cavayes that have been in a NAM every year, I think that could also be a plus to the nation because he has succeeded to fit in his family in a NAM, whom they will come out to be administrators in the various sectors of the country. It is his luck that Cameroon belongs to some of them. You see, Mandela in South Africa left power at the time he was still very strong, more than these people, Niat and Cavaye. Yet, he thought that giving the chance to another person is always a possibility for the nation to judge 2 people. We have Kagame in Rwanda today, who took Rwanda after the genocide and has transformed Rwanda. That is somebody who is still in Rwanda as the president, and at least the people of that country can be proud enough to say that if we are still keeping him there, we can show proof of what he has done. Some time ago, I said I never had anything wrong with sit-tight old squirrels as presidents in Africa. But my problem was when you are sitting there and you are not delivering. Tell me one good thing that the Senate president or the Senate itself as a structure, because I still stand for the fact that it should be kept off, that has delivered in this nation. I shared a platform in this prestigious television channel with a honorable member of parliament from CPDM. When I took him to task, he made the mistake and revealed that most of the decisions at the National Assembly come from the presidency, Mr. Liu. That they just go there to
He said that to you in private or on?
I am saying that he made a mistake on this platform, House of Commons. I was trying to catch up later on, but the viewers had already captured it. That most of the things that happen in that house are, let me use his words, are above their powers. because they deal with party discipline, that the president of the party and his structure has a say first before they come in. Before he could withdraw it, it was already gone. We can verify it. Now, it is just to tell you that they sit there, everything comes from the presidency. And that is why I've been insisting in this nation that we have only one arm of government, which is the executive. It controls the National Assembly, it controls the judiciary, it controls the Senate. All what happens in that house in the name of election or reselection is window dressing. No election ever took place in that house. If election ever took place in that house, Mr. Leo, we know that.
Cannot be too categorical. Well, that is your what
my
you think.
opinion.
Yes, that's your opinion.
That's my opinion.
Yes, say according to, because
this is what I know so far.
This is an institution, so you cannot here declare that no election took place, because we saw people voting for them.
So, Mr. Leo, do you think that for 31 years, MPs have walked into this house and they have walked out as present and ex-MPs? And among all these ones that have been walking in and out for 31 years, none of them has ever had the special God-given qualities that Cavaye has that can replace him as head of that structure if he was not coming from somewhere as an order.
Maybe he's a great politician.
Oh my God!
Anyway, a shrewd politician. Yeah, who knows how to play his game.
Yes, in CPDM, everybody in CPDM is a great politician. But at the end of the day, we have seen how they have condemned and destroyed Cameroon with their great politics. We are saying that we will, at one point, we will no longer come here to discuss such things. Let's just peacefully hand over Cameroon to anything CPDM. Let them own it entirely, instead of discussing this thing with no change in place. A man's life and a man's quest for development ends when he is no longer ashamed. This government in place is no longer ashamed. And when a man has no shame any longer, he does everything that is destructive and he stays without any regret. That is the regime that we have now. And that is what is obtaining.
Yeah, let's look at the balance sheet of these guys. Can we pinpoint where they have excelled to, because they are there to try to check the excesses of the government? Can we cite instances where they took government to task that this is not right, this is not constitutional?
Yes, Mr. Leo, the National Assembly and the Senate have helped to consolidate President Paul Biya's grip over power. All these years, they are the people who arranged the constitution and voted laws that gave the president some executive powers that other countries don't have. It is only in Cameroon I have heard that we have a presidentialist system of government. That is to tell you that it is the Senate and the National Assembly that coined that word and created a system of government we are yet to find in other parts of the world. Another definition for presidentialist system of government is monarchical system of government. So we have now developed a new word for monarchy, so that we should not call it monarchy direct, we should call it presidentialist. Presidentialist means the president has the right to overrule and make decisions even without the help of the Senate or the National Assembly. That is to say, there are powers the president controls that only kings control. And if the National Assembly did not vote such principles or laws in the Constitution, the president will not have such power. So these two houses have helped to consolidate President Paul Biya's grip over power. Number two, these two houses have established electoral laws that has caused other political parties to lose relevance in the country, and it has given Cameroon back a one-party system. It is this particular two houses that have helped to drag Cameroon to a place of a one-party system. These houses also have equally helped to maintain people in power, no matter how incompetent and indecent they may be, these houses have helped to bring them in power. These houses have also promoted embezzlement, because they will allow ministers to come declare their budget to be collected. They will never come to give accountability for the budget that they collected and the executions, and equally pictures or photographs or videos to show that this is the money we collected. These houses has amplified corruption to a height of beyond human comprehension.
Yeah, but
because
Apostle,
these houses were meant to hold people accountable for atrocities, but these houses are not.
The accusations are outrageous, Apostle.
They are not.
How do you say they amplify, they encourage embezzlement?
Yes.
Yes. Are you saying that we are talking about the re-election of 2 presidents?
You are talking about the rapport.
Yes,
You're asking me to give a rapport of what the houses have done so far.
No, I'm talking about the presidents.
The president.
Yeah, we are talking about their re-election.
Yes, the president and their re-election. That's what I'm saying, that the people who head the houses, the Senate and the National Assembly, are the ones who influence the activities of the nation.
So they ask ministers to steal? Is that
they
what you're saying?
They don't ask ministers to steal.
So how do they encourage?
They have flexibility, because the National Assembly is a place where you come and give accountability of what you collected.
Yes, but we have seen ministers grilled by the National Assembly.
The National Assembly has not for once ever and ever ask any minister that you collected your budget for 2.3 billion under Ministry of Culture, come back and give us account of what you spent. Ministers go to the National Assembly to defend budget they are going to use, not the one that they have spent.
Yeah, we have seen the Minister of Finance, Motazi, severally justify how he used money.
Where?
No, we have the videos are there.
In the National Assembly.
Yes, at the National Assembly.
Money.
Yes.
Now,
where he says that these people who are accusing that money has been spent this way. No, there are so many persons who are accusing who have also collected. He even said that the SDF collected money.
Motaze come to justify, not to defend.
But that was a green.
There's a difference between justification of budget and defending budget. Defending budget means you bring back the projects in videos and pictures that you have accomplished, and you bring an account of the money spent so far and the different companies that executed with a balance sheet of income. That is exactly what we call defending budget. If you go to the Ghanaian parliament, even a secondary school principal is called to give a balance sheet of the entire academic year.
And such a session will last for how long?
It can take 6 months for the betterment of the country. It doesn't matter. The president also is called to come and give accountability. Recently, Manakwa was in the parliament of Ghana, and after the meeting, the parliamentarians came out and giving accountability. The president did nonsense, and they were speaking, and the ones who defended him. That is a democratic society. When has our president ever appeared for the parliament to give what accountability? This man in Jacob Zuma is called upon in the South African parliament. Ramaphosa is called in the parliament to come and give accountability. When has our president ever appeared once in the parliament to say anything? That is to tell you how very weak those houses are. And for these individuals to have stayed in power for this length of time in those houses tells us that something is not right somewhere. Because in a free and fair democratic society, I think even within the CPDM, there are more competent persons who are younger and efficient to assume that responsibility that they keep insisting that they have elected, they are re-elected. So I think these houses have helped to establish President Biya's grip in power, and also promoted embezzlement and corruption in this country, because that house is supposed to be a house where cleansing was supposed to be taking place. The parliament is a place where people are being corrected, people are being brought to order, people are being cleansed, errors are being corrected. The parliament is a place that threatens the next corrupt person from daring into corruption. But you see, that is not the case here. We have a parliament that ministers only go there when they are saying that the budget of Ministry of Culture this year is 3.6 billion. The one of Studio and Sport is 4.6 billion. That of Territorial Administration is 3.3 billion. And then after that they are done, there is no time to come back and say, okay, this is the end of the year. We took 3.3 billion for so and so project, for so and so program. These are pictures and photographs and images of what we have done so far. This is what we have spent so far, because sometimes you don't even execute all the money. You must come with a balance and say, or you say, okay, what we collected is much. We have brought this balance, but we did not execute this. That is not the case. Then now the presidents are only there. Such presidents will always stay in power because there is no threat to those who are voting them.
Yeah, but Apostle, I hope you also know that the budget that is presented are projections. Some of these ministries end up not receiving all of what was projected for because the government may not be able to collect all of what was projected.
That is not a problem. That's what come out.
That does not stop them from rendering
singing this year. I will sing it tomorrow. I will sing it here till eternity. They should come back.
So what you're saying is that, okay, if they projected that we are giving you 4 billion, they should come next time and say,
4 billion. We did not collect the 4
billion. We did not collect what. This is what we collected.
2 billion.
This is how we use it.
We have done so far. At least that accountability gives Cameroonians the confidence where their tax money is going to. Yes. So we are part of that money.
No, we are the owners of that money, not part of that money. Mr. Leo, when you are asking,
I want us to stay with the president's.
Yeah, that's what we are talking.
Yeah. Now, when you look at, we are asking that are they the men for this job? Don't they?
This question should be put to the gullible Cameroonian youths who have fallen into the trap of bread and sardine to think that they must sing for CPDM. Because I think in the parliament we have youths there like Ngwa Gerard. I think he's a vibrant youth. He is not alone. There are few of them. We have Honorable Kumasi. I want to think that it is a message to the youth in Cameroon that you remain the youth of today and you will never become a leader of tomorrow. Because if there was any glimmer of hope to these youths, I think it was time to hand over this job to people like Ngwa Gerard. Even if I'm not very comfortable with such names, they are youths and they happen to be in the house. But then, what is actually explaining the fact that somebody like Cavaye, he's there eternal? I think the problem is systemic. Most of them, that of Senate, we should not forget that the Senate, he just took that function because he has to execute it maybe till, I don't know whether it's the 11th of April, when the new house will be coming in. But for the National Assembly, he remains till the end of the mandate.
Of course.
He will come again in November, I think, October, November. And he will be re-elected. Let me say it here. He shall be, no, not re-elected. She shall be again selected as the president. Which means that, to me personally, I cannot actually place a finger on any positive advantage of keeping such a man in the house. A while ago, you were asking.
You are not a militant of the CPDM. The CPDM may know why.
I don't need to be. Cameroon does not belong to CPDM. Cameroonians choose where to belong. Cameroon is not the property of the CPDM. And the Senate should not be made to be the property. This is the conception of this country. The Cameroonian Senate or the Parliament should not be made to look as if it is the property of the CPDM. If they have hijacked it, they are abusing the very democracy their president have been preaching. We should not take it as a new normal. Yeah, it is not a normal thing.
Who do you blame? They want 70 out of 70.
No.
So what should happen at the level of the Senate?
No, we cannot blame. I cannot blame CPDM because the so-called oppositions, the Langatut people who call themselves politicians, are the ones who have assisted in putting them where they are. So I appreciate CPDM. I even told you last time when I was here. But to say the Senate or the Parliament is rendering any services to Cameroon is a folklore. We have this famous Article 66 in Cameroon. The president has never declared his asset. He has never appeared in front of the National Assembly to explain to those who are supposed to guide the actions of the government. But today it is instead the government guiding their actions. So the Senate and the Parliament is there just to squander Cameroon money. If you take off the National Assembly in Cameroon and you take off the Senate, Cameroon will still function as it is functioning today. They have no added value to the present Cameroon that we know.
Okay, we are going to be ending this program at this juncture. Apostle Ambe, Valentine, Ngwa, thank you for coming.
Thank you, Mr. Leo. Cameroonians, let's keep praying. One day things go better.
Thank you too for coming. Ndiwum.
Thank you very much, Mr. Leo. I think maybe God comes in many ways. He might be hiding our own Moses somewhere that we don't know. But we are praying that he should reveal that Moses as soon as possible. Let him use that stick to divide the river for Cameroonian people to cross. Okay,
just to note that the CPDM was supposed to be represented on this platform by Mr. Siaka Shuneh, who was caught in traffic. He could not be make it through to joining the panelists out here. We want to say thank you to all of you who took time off to watch this edition of the program, and also to you, Ella and Desmond, for production, Tabi Tambe Bryant for supervision. Stay blessed. Bye-bye.